Good morning, boys and girls. Time for another exciting math lesson. Today's lesson will be Chapter 11, Lesson number 10, Describing Equal Parts. Let's take a look at today's essential question. How do you find a half of, a third of, or a fourth of a whole? Let's think about that. How do you find a half, or a third, or a fourth of a whole? Our lesson starts today on page 759. Turn to that page in your Go Math workbook. Remember, you can always hit pause. No, not that pause. That's better. You can always hit pause to stop the video and then press play again when you're ready to continue. Let's take a look at the first problem. It wants us to find shapes that show fourths and color them green. Find shapes that show halves and color them red. So take a look at the page for a second and look for the shapes that show fourths and then color them green. I'll give you 10 seconds, or you can always hit pause. All right, I've got my trusty green highlighter out. It looks like this square has been divided into four equal pieces. And this circle over here has been divided into fourths. Now the second part is to find the shapes that show halves and color them in red. If you want to pause the video, color in the halves, and then continue, go ahead. If not, I'm going to get out my trusty red highlighter and color in this circle because it's been cut into two equal parts or halves. And this rectangle down here has also been divided into halves. Finally, in the Math Talk section, they want us to describe how the thirds and the unshaded shapes compare to each other. How do the shapes we didn't color in that are divided into thirds compare to each other? Think about that for a second. I know! The shapes that are divided into thirds, all the pieces are the same shape and the same size in that particular shape. Okay, let's move on to page 760. Let's take a look at the top in the light purple shaded area. Take a look. These are some ways to show and describe an equal part of a whole. We have two equal parts. A half of the shape is green. For three equal parts, we say a third of the shape is green. And when we have four equal parts, we say a fourth of the shape is green. So we would call this green a half, this one a third, and this one a fourth. What if I colored in another square in this rectangle? Then we would say 2/3 of the shape is green. This would be 1/3, and this would be 1/3. We have 2/3. What if I colored in another one of these in this rectangle? Then I'd have a piece that's 1/4 and another piece that's 1/4. I'd have 2/4, 2 of the 4 that the shape has been divided in. And if I were to color in another one, that would be another fourth. And I would say I have 3/4. 3 of the 4 have been colored in. And when we're talking about fourths, we can also call one of the pieces a quarter. Here, 1/4 of this rectangle has been colored in. So you could either say 1/4 has been colored in or 1/4 has been colored in. So for this rectangle, it takes 4/4 to make a whole. Just like it takes 4/4 to make a whole dollar. Did somebody say dollar? I'm on the dollar. All right, let's move down now to share and show. Here we have 6 problems. They want us to draw and show thirds and then color in a third of the shape, just like they did for us here in number 1. So we can go ahead and trace what they did for us. So they divided this circle into thirds. They drew an upside down Y. And then they went ahead and colored in one of the 3 pieces, or a third of the shape. All right, let's move on to number 2. Go ahead and divide it into thirds. Press pause if you need to. All right, I'm now going to divide the square into thirds. Try to do the best you can and make the pieces as close to being equal as you can. I could have drawn the lines up and down. I could have also drawn them sideways. And now I'll go ahead and color in one of the thirds. It doesn't matter which one, the one on the left, the one on the right, or the one in the middle. It's up to you. All right, let's move on to number 3. We have a rectangle. If you need to, press pause. Go ahead and divide that one into thirds. I think for this one, I'll go side to side. Not quite. Try again. Like I said, we're all not perfect artists, so just try your best. And then go ahead and color in one of the pieces, or color in a third. All right, moving on to number 4, another rectangle. But now they want us to divide them into fourths and color in a fourth of the shape. So go ahead for number 4. If you need to press pause, go ahead. Divide it into fourths. And I'm going to, I'll go up and down this time. 1, 2. You need to draw 3 lines to divide it into fourths. And then I'll go ahead and color in one of the fourths. All right, moving on to number 5. We have a circle divided into fourths. You might want to think about this one for a second. How will you divide a circle into fourths? I know. I'll draw either an X or a plus sign. I knew the answer to that one, but no one asked me, and I'm the father of your country. So I'll take my pencil. If you need to press pause, go ahead. And I'll draw a line straight down the middle and straight across. And then I'll color in a fourth. Oops, I can't color in the lines. Messy, messy teacher. Do a better job than me. I am really getting out. Now I gotta get the eraser. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's move to number 6. Finally, let's divide this square into fourths. Press pause if you need to, and then play when you want to continue. Since I drew a plus on the circle, I think I'll draw an X on the square. Hey, it looks like one of my pizzas. Hey. And then go ahead and color in a fourth of the square. And you have completed page 700 760. Let's move on to page 761. Page 761 is a do on your own page. So for numbers 7, 8, and 9, they want you to draw to show halves. They want you to divide each of the three shapes into halves and color a half of the shape. Then for numbers 10, 11, and 12, they want you to draw and divide it into thirds and color in a third of the shape. And finally for 13, 14, 15, divide them into fourths and color in a fourth of the shape. So now you can go ahead and press pause, complete the page, and when you're ready to check your answers, press play again. All right, you've pressed play and now you're ready to check your answers. Let's first check on numbers 7, 8, and 9. For numbers 7, 8, and 9, I divided them this way. There is more than one right answer. And I shaded them in like this. Did yours match mine, or did you do something different? All right, let's go on to numbers 10, 11, and 12. For thirds, I drew my lines this way on each shape, and I colored in a third as such. Yours may look different. As I said before, there's more than one right answer. Just make sure that the parts are equal, the same size, and the same shape. Now let's check out numbers 13, 14, and 15. To divide them into fourths, I drew my lines this way, and I colored them in this way. How did you guys do? Great, I hope. Now let's move on to page 762. Okay, you've turned to page 762. Let's take a look at number 16. If you like, you can pause the video and scan the QR code and watch the Math on a Spot video and do the problem together along with the video. Unless, of course, it's a different problem, then you'll have to do it on your own. So either press pause, watch the video, or we will continue. Number 16 says, 2 posters are the same size. A third of one poster is red, and a fourth of the other poster is blue. Then they want to know, is the red part or the blue part larger? Draw and write to explain. Thinking time again. What could I do to answer this problem? Well, first, I'm going to have to draw a model of what they just said, with one poster having a third red and another poster having a fourth blue. So go ahead and do that on these 2 blank rectangles. If you need to, press pause. So I am going to divide one poster into thirds and one poster, let me go backwards, one poster into fourths. And then the one with fourths, a fourth of that one is blue. And a third of the other one is red. Now I'll have to compare them. Now using my eyeballs and comparing the red section with the blue section, to me it looks like the third is bigger than the fourth. It's a little bit thicker. So now I need to write that out in a sentence. So over here in this section, I'm going to write, the red part is bigger. And now I need to explain why and how I figured that out. And I explain it as the third piece is wider than the fourth piece. So a third is bigger than a fourth. Let's move on to number 17. For number 17, they want us to draw to show halves, thirds, and fourths. Then color a half of, then color a third of, and then color a fourth of the shape. So for this one, you get to pick which shapes you want to divide into a half, which one you want to divide into thirds, and which one you want to divide into fourths. It's all up to you. The choice is yours. Isn't math beautiful? I love it so much it makes me cry. So if you want, pause the video, complete the problem, and then check your answers with me. All right, time to check your answers. For me, I'm thinking the middle one, that long rectangle, is the hardest one to divide into 4 equal parts. It's just hard to get those lines perfect. So I think for that one, I'll just divide that one in halves and make it easy on myself. The circle, I know how to make that Y. That's easy for me, so I'll make that one into thirds. Might have to make that Y just a little bit wider. There we go. That looks a little better. And then for fourths, I'll just draw an X on that square. And then I have to go in and color in a third of the thirds, a half of the halves, and a fourth of the fourths. So abracadabra, and they are colored in. And that completes page 762. So now it's your turn to complete the homework page 763 and 764. Take a picture of them and upload them to Seesaw. And that completes today's math lesson.